one another, compassion for the vulnerable, forgiveness, humility, and hope for a better tomorrow. As families gather and communities unite, may the message of Christ bring comfort to every home, strength to every heart, and peace to our land. From all of us at Wells Radio 89.3 FM, thank you for your loyalty, your trust, and for making us part of your daily lives throughout the year. May the peace of Christ abide with you this Christmas and beyond. Merry Christmas from your family radio station, Wells Radio 89.3 FM.
FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
Right, studio time check says it's 34 minutes past 6 a.m. Today is the 25th day in December of 2025. Good morning and welcome. This is Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio and your number one family radio in the whole of Oyo State. It's a wonderful Thursday morning right here in the Blue Studios. Wells Radio is located along Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. I'll start this morning quickly with this. It's a Bible verse that portrays the birth of Jesus. Luke chapter 2, verse 1 to 20. Well, obviously, we're not taking 1 to 20. We'll start from verse 4 and then we'll move downwards. So Joseph also went up from the town of Nazareth in Galilee to Judea, to Bethlehem, the town of David, because he belonged to the house and line of David. He went there to register with Mary, who was pledged to be married to him and was expecting a child. While they were there, the time came for the baby to be born, and she gave birth to her firstborn, a son. She wrapped him in cloths and placed him in a manger, because there was no guest room available for them. And there were shepherds living out in the fields nearby, keeping watch over their flock at night. An angel of the Lord appeared to them, and the glory of the Lord shone around them, and they were terrified. But the angel said to them, "Do not be afraid. I bring you good news that will cause great joy for all the people. Today, in the town of David, a Savior has been born to you. He is the Messiah, the Lord. This will be your sign. You will find the baby wrapped in clothes and lying in a manger." Suddenly, a great company of the heavenly host appeared with the angel, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest heaven, and on earth, peace to those on whom his favor rests." It's the 25th of December, as I said, and here in Nigeria and many parts of the world, it symbolizes the birth of Jesus Christ, and that's why we're all saying Merry Christmas. I shared this Bible verse because more than the rice and the chicken that we're going to eat today, more than the family members we're going to visit today, more than the parks and recreation centers that we're going to go today in celebration, we must always remember the reason for the season, which is Jesus Christ, his love for us, and the fact that we must be followers of Jesus Christ. We should follow in his words and his actions. We should want to be like him. Very, very important. So, Merry Christmas. Now that you know that, Merry Christmas to you, and good morning, and welcome to Perspectives Unlimited. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola, and this morning, we're still going to take a look at the headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria, because things are indeed happening in Nigeria, regardless of the fact that today is Christmas Day. So we're going to take a look at those headlines, talk about them, deliberate on them, and we want you to also join us. I know you're probably going to church, or if you're in the Southwest here, it doesn't even matter sometimes if you're Muslim, because you probably have family members who are Christians, extended family members who are Christians, so you're going to join them in the celebration. But it's not yet time for church, so sit down, get relaxed, and let's do the show together. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola. Once again, we're taking a look at the headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. We'll start with the front page of the Punch newspaper. The lead headline says, "Christmas messages. Tinubu governors preach unity. NLC rejects unfair taxation." Okay, the writer says, "Khan urges security consciousness. Kuka decries killings. Nigerians lament despite food price crash." That story is on pages 2 and 7 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. House begins tax law probe. Ndume pushes for suspension. That's on page 7. Jakpa, Nigerian nurses practicing in UK hit over 16,000. That's on page 14. NNPC, 12 others fail ICPC integrity test. That story is on page 13. MDAs underfunded by 15 trillion naira in 3 years. That story is on page 9 of the Punch newspaper. Labour Party crisis. Abure wants OT against parallel convention. That story is on page 14. Corruption masking God's blessings on Nigeria, says the EFCC chair. That story is on page 14 as well. Tax agency can't debit accounts without court order, says Oyedele. That's on page 14. Many feared trapped as fire guts Lagos Plaza. That story is on page 4. 4 killed, 14 injured in Borno mosque bombing. That story is on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Daily Trust, 5 killed, 35 injured in Borno mosque bombing. That's on page 3 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. How 2 Kanu lawmakers died same day That's sad. You find that story on page 6 rather, of the Daily Trust newspaper. 41 properties worth 212.8 billion naira traced to Malame, says EFCC. That's on page 6 as well. More headlines: Christmas worship centers on security watch. That story is on page 4. Yuletide, cheap food, low patronage. That's on page 46. ASU, federal government finalized renegotiated 2009 agreement. That's the reason on page 45. Visa ban threatens Nigeria-US passengers traffic. That's on page 29 of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning. Moving on to more dailies, we'll take a look at the front page of the Guardian newspaper, where the lead headline says power crisis lingers into Christmas as output averages 3,000 megawatts. That's the reason on page 6. Shock as Kano Assembly loses 2 members within minutes. You find that on page 29 of the Guardian newspaper. Christmas Eve tragedy, many feared dead as IED explodes in Borno Mosque. That story is on page 2. ASU, federal government reached truce as union accepts 40% pay increase. That's on page 4. And that's about it, really, on some of the headlines making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria this morning. Now bringing our analyst, Mr. Lale Konsani. Good morning to you, sir.
Good morning, madam.
And Merry Christmas.
Same to you and our listeners.
I hope you brought the rice for myself and the listeners
And the cow.
and our listeners.
Not chicken cow.
Before we officially start talking about the things happening in our country, can you share with us a Christmas memory or something about Christmas?
In all seriousness, I would have loved to say this in Yoruba, but let's just flow.
We'll make the exception if you want to.
Oh, really?
I'll translate.
Oh, okay. But kéré. I mean, oṣù mẹ́ta la bá fi ń retí Christmas. Telling you.
So you'd always prepare for Christmas like 3 months before?
I happen to come from a home where, there is a bridge between the two religions in the country.
Muslim, Christian,
My
just
father-
like almost every Yoruba person.
My father is a Muslim. My mother was, God rest her soul, a Christian. So, Iléyá ni o, Christmas ni o, gbogbo ẹ̀,
Àṣepọ̀.
fàájì la ṣe ń lè wá. Fún Christmas bẹ́ẹ̀ oṣù mẹ́ta, oríṣiríṣi aṣọ. Kì í ṣe aṣọ ọjọ́ kan, aṣọ bí ọ̀sẹ̀ kan ni. Wọ́n mú wa ti kò sílẹ̀, kí táwọn bá jí wò lẹ́ẹ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan, tí wọ́n bá kà mọ́ ẹ lọ́rùn tiẹ̀ báyìí. Bàtà ìjọ yẹn dẹ̀rẹ́ báyìí, ìyá wa jẹ bẹ́ẹ̀ ayé fẹ́ parẹ́ rẹ̀. Yàtọ̀ sí ìyẹn bí ọ̀sẹ̀ mẹ́ta kó tó di ọjọ́ yẹn, gbogbo ilé báyìí iná ni, decorative
Christmas
lights. Àwọn tó wà ń ta ń gbà yẹn, like, wọ́n dùn orí ju àwọn tó máa ta ń
Yeah,
sìn.
the quality of the lights have actually changed. I
Gbogbo ilé
noticed it.
káàdì ni àwọn colleague daddy, colleague mommy káàdì everywhere tá máa so okùn báyìí, tá máa fi káàdì àlọ́ báyìí, á dàbí hex nínú pálọ̀ báyìí. I mean, nǹkan ti ṣe Nàìjíríà.
All right, for those who don't understand Yoruba, obviously this is an English program. I said I'll translate and I'll do that. So basically for him, when he was younger, Christmas was so special that the anticipation would start 3 months before Christmas. And, Christmas clothes, Christmas is synonymous with children buying clothes and also food, lots of food for him as well, and the Christmas lights. I can remember that back when I was young too, which is not so long ago, the Christmas lights were a very special thing because the minute the Christmas lights are on, the Christmas festivities have started.
Christmas ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn. Christmas ti bẹ̀rẹ̀ nìyẹn.
All right, so yeah, that's just the joys of childhood before we became adults.
And billing started.
All right, let's get to some of the headlines making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. Our president, Bolanle, yesterday gave his Christmas goodwill message where he admonished Nigerians to embrace peace. And more importantly, he talked about his commitment to religious tolerance. He declared that no Nigerian would be made to suffer or die because of their religious belief. He went on to say that religious tolerance remains a core national value that binds the country together despite its diversity. He said, and I quote, "No one, regardless of ethnicity or belief, should be made to suffer for professing and practicing his faith." He said the love for God and the love for humanity are at the heart of all great faiths. These shared values must continue to bind us together as one indivisible and resilient people of our blessed country. This is the president's third Christmas address since he assumed office in May 2023. And this is also coming amidst the fact that the United States redesignated Nigeria as a country of particular concern because they said that Nigerians are being, Christians in Nigeria, are being killed by radical Islamists. They're being killed, massively, although the federal government has said no, the killings are not affecting just Christians, but they're affecting Nigerians in general. And we know that Christmas is that time when Nigerians are usually, once upon a time, it will take something very drastic for you to be down on Christmas Day, for you to say, oh, we're not cooking in our house, for you to say we're not traveling.
It must have been a case of personal
If
loss.
someone, yes,
grief.
personal bereavement. But today, I called someone yesterday who said, Bolanle, we're not cooking this year because it gets us things be. Another person said, would have loved to travel, but the prices are, number one, too expensive, and number two, we don't have money for ransom, because we don't want to be kidnapped. And another person also told me, saying, I don't know if we're going to go to church. The person's in Kogi State and said,
I know, if you are in Kogi, I'll actually advise you not to try.
The person said, I don't want stress for my life.
Kogi Kwara, don't try.
The person said, I don't want stress for my life. I don't want my family to, be kidnapped. And these are not feelings that are familiar with the Christmas time.
Especially with the guys who have who have used calendars very well.
Yeah.
It's not what
it's
we
not.
used
It's
to
not a
hear.
feeling that is familiar with Christmas.
When we were young, people who wanted to go to the north would go there without any worries. People who wanted to go to the south. I can remember a picture in my head of a neighbor who left home around something to hate, and this person was traveling for a very long distance then, and he left home around 8 to 8 in the night, and nobody was worried, nobody was apprehensive. Today, even if you leave when it's 8 a.m. in the morning, people are going to go on their knees. If they are Christians, to pray for you to arrive there. If they are Muslims, they are going to see you for you.
Now let's look at the president's let's look at the president's goodwill message. He's saying the right things, but is he in turn? They always say it's not do as I say, it's do as I do. Is the president and the federal government in turn also doing the right thing?
In all seriousness, I don't really have much to do with words. Rather, I focus on what you say, what you do and how you act. In all seriousness, the president, through his utterances, has not said or done anything that can suggest that there is religious intolerance in the country. That is my view. But in terms of acting as the commander-in-chief to ensure that all places are safe and secure in this country...
No, I'm not even talking about religious, intolerance. Seeing as he has said, nobody deserves to, die.
That's what I'm trying. That's what I'm trying to say. He is failing seriously in that regard, because talk to anybody right now, they will tell you that I would have loved to do this, but I can't do it. For those who have some figures in their bank account, the biggest problem is security, and they actually belong to a very, very tiny minority. Most of the people, it's not about it's about security for those who have something to spare. And that's just a tiny fraction of the population. Most people, it's a case of, I don't get money. I can't travel. Why? There is no money. Somebody was talking to me the other day. Lagos to Owerri, 80,000 waiting happen. That's
and the airfares are not smiling as well.
Go, if you don't have staggering figures in your bank account, don't try it, because to and fro Lagos to the southeast, you're talking about close to $1 million. It's not worth it. It's not worth it.
All right. We do wish that as we prepare to enter the next year, things can change, because many Nigerians, I say this and I don't speak for myself, many Nigerians are just tired. We just want things to be better. We just want to enjoy being Nigerian again.
Looking at the budget for 2026, how practically optimistic are you?
The EFCC chairman has said that corruption is masking God's blessings on Nigeria. Oduekun, the chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, he said that corruption is masking God's abundant blessings on Nigeria and is holding the country back from attaining its full potentials. He said Nigerians should unite against corruption in order to unlock national prosperity and strength, because he thinks that we as people should confront corruption more fiercely to allow the abundant life of God manifest in our nation, which makes a lot of sense. But we have to ask Mr. Oduekun how far he has gone with the case of Yahaya Bello.
No, the truth of the matter is that I am looking at what you just read now from two angles. Number one is that, my failure as Oduekun is masking God's blessings on Nigeria, because you are our attack dog when it comes to corruption in this country. If you are doing your job well, this would not be happening. We will be seeing the blessings that God has indeed deposited in Nigeria. The second option is that he should have shut up. That's just the truth of the matter. He just told the whole world right now that he is grossly incompetent for that office, that he is only there for the perks and benefits of the office and not for the rigors of the job. Because in all seriousness,
not
as
forgetting
the chairman,
that he told us he was going to resign if he didn't get Yahaya Bello.
He will tell you that, he has done his part. The other part is that, the judiciary is stalling the process, and for that reason, he is not to be held responsible. I knew too well that at some point...
Is it right?
You can't blame him for that. You can only blame him should they not charge Yahaya Bello with the right charges. If they have gone there to say, okay, he did this, he did that, then it's no longer their business. But what I'm trying, he knew that it was going to get to that point. I knew too well that Yahaya Bello was not going to remain a fugitive forever. He's a politician. He would want to mingle with the people. He would want to say, okay, this is where we are, this is where we stand, vote for this person, for that person. He can't continue to do that.
Forever.
From behind a closed door. I knew it was going to come out. So Oduekun himself knew that the hide and seek was going to come to an end at some point. So it was a pretty safe gamble for him to have said that, should we not lay our hands on him, I'm going to resign. That's fine. That's not my business. My business is, what exactly have you charged this guy with? Let's not talk too much about Yahaya Bello, because in the case of Yahaya Bello, it may be a case of, it's my great-grandfather who left so much money, like a clown told us 2 weeks ago. What of the Agbada banker that we all saw? I'm talking about Umar Ganduji here. We all saw him...
Put in dollars.
Dollars. Words of dollars. On that into Agbada. When they told the EFCC, then the EFCC said that they had not seen that video. Can you imagine that type of nonsense? Almost everybody in Nigeria saw that video. I don't want to say everybody. Let me just say almost everybody in Nigeria saw that video.
Many Nigerians saw the video.
I saw it. If the FCC wants the video, I can help them get it. It's 5 years now, 6 years, and nothing has happened. And you are telling me that, corruption is masking. Not corruption. Your failure, your personal failure is what is masking God's blessings on Nigeria.
All right. We'll move on and take. There's so many Christmas, messages and wishes.
I can understand.
Khan urges security consciousness. Kuka decries killings.
That is not what Khan should be saying. In all seriousness, Khan should have been.
What should Khan?
In a normal climb, Khan should be teaching people as regards the personality of Christ. But you cannot blame them. Security over and above everything. I presume when they are alive, they celebrate.
Some people are saying that.
I'm not blaming. No, I need to make it abundantly clear that I'm not blaming Khan here.
Which is where I'm coming into.
Okay.
On social media, many people have said that Khan is not doing enough in speaking up about the insecurity in places like Benue, Kwara and Co. That they've failed essentially, Christians and churches over there.
The truth of the matter is that I have been saying something in this studio, and I'll say it again this morning. As regards our security, it is failing on 3 fronts. Northeast, which I believe is the most, it is the most deadly of them. Then North Central and Northwest. The three of them are not running on the same fuel. It's not the same thing that is fueling insecurity in those three places. And just 3 days ago, the United States committee actually said that, now they know better, that the country is not facing just one
insecurity from one source.
From one angle, that it's multifaceted, and if you actually want to confront it, you must be prepared to have solutions to all three sources of. Without a bit of doubt, Christians are dying in Plateau and Benue. Anybody who tells you anything contrary to that is a madman. But is it about Christian genocide? I'm struggling to believe that. And the reason is that should anything go wrong in Plateau and Benue, most certainly the victims are going to be Christians, simply because these places are like 95% populated by Christians. It's like that. Should anything go wrong in Katsina State, you can take a bet that almost all of them are going to be Muslims.
Now, which makes a lot of analytical sense.
Okay.
But imagine that you're speaking with someone from Benue.
I do speak with them every day, and they understand my bias. Actually, bias. This is
they
advanced. This is biased English.
Your point of view.
Maybe people don't change out from this morning.
They understand your point of view.
Okay.
Now, the cries on social media is for the fact that the Khan in the southern part of Nigeria, it seems that there's a disconnect. Churches are still, holding their regular programs. Some are even doing comedy programs, and the likes, and they're not magnifying the voices of the Christians in Benue and Plateau.
As far as I'm concerned, is doing a lot. I understand that the chairman of CAN has been saying all sorts of things he should be saying. You can't be a leader of a particular group and something is going to happen to that party. Well, it may be happening to people from other people who look like you but are not like you, human beings. But the truth of the matter is that your constituency remains your primary constituency. And for CAN, His Eminence, Bishop Oko, has tried a lot. He has said a lot of things, such that some people from other parts of, from some other faiths have even accused him of, guy, when we are together, we know the things that we say. But when you speak to cameras and microphones, you say something totally different from what you know is happening. Chief, stem things down. We can't afford to have a divided front. You are a religious leader, I'm a religious leader. You and I know what is happening behind this. Let's set the record straight. But CAN also needs to be very careful so that they do not earn the wrath of their primary constituency. And for that reason, they have been screaming, Christian genocide, Christian genocide. I'm not sure anybody who happens to be the head of CAN will say something contrary. But, as a leader, generally, I'm talking about politicians here, the president to be precise, you get inputs from all sources. You had everything together. Are there similarities? Are there differences? Is there a genocide truly? These are the things that will now form your input so that you can come up with a reasonable output. That is it.
All right. In his Christmas message, Archbishop Daniel Oko urged churches, particularly those in conflict-prone areas, to take practical steps to ensure the safety of their worshippers. He encouraged Christian leaders and congregations to exercise vigilance and a deep sense of responsibility during worship, stressing that the protection of human life is sacred and must remain paramount. He said churches in areas with inadequate security presence were advised to consider holding services in safer locations or organizing smaller gatherings that can be protected. He said this counsel is offered in love and care, not in fear, as we are called to be wise stewards of the lives that God has entrusted to us. Don't forget that in December 2023, gunmen killed over 140 state villagers 140 Plateau State villagers in a Christmas Eve attack. So it's Christmas today. We're celebrating the birth of a new life. We don't want to have
loss of lives. The truth of the matter is that I am deeply pained that this is what is saying on such a day. We should have been talking about the personality of Christ, the purpose of his birth, and so very many beautiful things about him. But instead, we are saying, must we celebrate the birth of Christ? Because that is actually what the man is saying.
If you're in a conflict,
it's better. It's not a thing I can comprehend in my head. It's nerve-wracking.
All right. We'll take a short break. When we come back, we've spoken extensively about Christmas. When we come back, we'll delve into other matters that are happening in the country. So don't go anywhere. It's Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. We'll be right back.
Your preferred wholesome radio.
How long will it take you to confirm payment? I have been waiting for the past 1 hour.
I'm so sorry. Our network is slow. I will just run out of data.
Same excuse yesterday. It is unacceptable, please. You better switch to One Data Internet Service.
One Data?
Yes, One Data. One Data is an internet service provider with the best alternative and solution for unlimited speed. One Data provides fast and reliable internet service to organizations, homes, and places of interest in Nigeria. With One Data, you get to enjoy the premium internet service with dedicated unlimited internet speed at all times, 24/7 fantastic customer service and support, and you enjoy a 1-month free subscription when you make payment. Now is the time to say goodbye to downtimes. Sign up with One Data today on 0811 223 2671 or visit www.onedata.ng for more inquiries. One Data, unlimited speed.
Christ Ambassadors International College is a private, co-educational Christian day and boarding school located at Alafin Avenue, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. We offer a blend of Nigerian and British curricula designed to nurture global leaders with godly values. With world-class facilities, exciting co-curricular programs, exceptional pastoral care, and outstanding academic results, we ensure your child's dream becomes a reality. Our entrance examination for 2026-2027 academic session will hold on Saturday, 14th February 2026 at 8 a.m. For inquiries, please call 0704 530 8414 or 0814 177 2806 or visit www.christambassadorscollege.com. Christ Ambassadors International College, nurturing global and godly scholars.
Are you hungry for something delicious? Food that feels like home but tastes like pure luxury? Then welcome to Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile. From our smoky jollof to rich ofada sauce to a variety of delicious soups like egusi, eforiro, and more, paired with your favorite proteins and hot, freshly made swallows, all made for you to enjoy. We also handle bulk orders in liters, fresh and ready whenever you need it. We deliver it to your doorstep. At Honeydew, it's not just the food, it's the feel. With our beautiful ambience, perfect for your romantic dates, family outings, or your quiet, relaxing evening escape. Join us every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m. for karaoke night with Jayola and enjoy music, games, food, drinks, and free mocktails and cocktails as you sing your hearts out. Visit us at Plot 42, Block 8, Alaafi Avenue, beside Wells Radio, Oluyole Estate, Ibadan. For your doorstep delivery or inquiries, call or WhatsApp 0814-691-6635, 0814-691-6635. Honeydew Restaurant, where every meal is made to make you smile.
Good news! You asked for it and we heard you. From the 1st of January 2026, Wells Radio 89.3 FM begins a new broadcast schedule. We will now be on air every day from 5 a.m. to 11 p.m., bringing you more time with programs that truly matter. This adjustment is to ensure you enjoy even more wholesome, quality, and family-oriented content, carefully designed to inform, inspire, and uplift every member of the family. Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio.
All right, you're welcome back. Studio time check says it's 7 minutes past 7 a.m. It's still Perspectives Unlimited on Wells Radio 89.3 FM, your preferred wholesome radio. And first Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy. Article tells Tinubu. If you're just joining us, we're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. Merry Christmas to you. The studio lines are open 0916-893-1000, 0915-333-4893, and 0911-333-3893. This morning you share your views with us, and you also wish one special person a Merry Christmas. Yes. All right. The phone lines once again 0916-893-1000.
I was ready to run out.
0915-333-4893 and 0911-333-3893. And first Supreme Court ruling on local government autonomy. Article tells Tinubu. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has urged President Bola Tinubu to implement a Supreme Court ruling granting financial autonomy to local governments, warning that continued delay harms communities at the grassroots. Atiku made the call in a statement posted on his official X page on Wednesday, noting that the government has spent nearly 2 years without enforcing the Supreme Court's directive. He says Supreme Court judgments are final, not optional. Persistently refusing to enforce one is a direct breach of the Constitution and a violation of the oath you swore to Nigerians. Atiku stressed that withholding financial autonomy undermines local governance and development. He says the local governments, as we all know, are the closest arm of the government to the people. And by withholding their financial autonomy, you are not weakening governors, you are crippling communities, stalling development, and deepening poverty at the grassroots. And he called on the president to instruct the Attorney General of the Federation to enforce the judgments immediately, saying that the solution is simple. Anything short of this is a failure of leadership. Now, note that earlier, I believe that was on Tuesday, President Tinubu had called the...
Threatened. Threatened to issue an executive order.
I'm just using a softer word, called on the APC, governors at their 15th NEC meeting to comply with the Supreme Court verdict. He said that non-compliance would, compel him to issue an executive order to ensure direct allocations from the federation accounts to local councils. But Mr. Sani, let's look at the bare bones of this. After the Supreme Court ruling was made, local governments chairmen were very happy, except the ones in Oyo State, because they said that they stand with the governor.
I don't know.
And they don't want their autonomy.
For those ones,
many people were shocked to hear that.
I should say I don't know where their brains are.
Many people were shocked to hear that, because someone is granting you freedom on a silver platter,
and you're saying you want to remain a slave forever.
Anyway, that aside,
let them become what they want to be.
That aside,
okay.
The real issue of implementation started when some local governments then said, okay, we're democratically elected. We meet all the
criteria set by the
from the Supreme Court. So what do we do? What's the next thing? They reached out to the CBN to say, what's the next thing? How do we get next month's pay? And then the CBN told them that, well, to open an account where you're going to get your money, you need to give us
an
audited accounts
for
of 2 years. And then some, initially, some of them tried to, start, keeping in mind that the local government funds had been going to the governors. So ideally, if you're going to get any 2 years audited accounts, you're going to get it from the governors. And then many of them complained about the fact that, number one, this condition by the CBN was unreasonable. And they also said in trying to comply with this condition, their governors, couldn't give anything.
Let me come in at this point. As far as I am concerned, Olayemi Cardoso should be in jail right now, the CBN governor. And the reason for that is that he is guilty of contempt. Contempt at the highest level.
Was he wrong to give them those terms before they can open an account?
Extremely and totally wrong. You don't do that. Once the Supreme Court says A stands as A. If you now try to bend it, even tilt it by 5 degrees, you have, as far as I'm concerned, committed something that should take you to jail. Contempt of court at this particular point. And not just any court, not magistrate, not high court, Court of Appeal, Supreme Court. Let's now go into the details. The Supreme Court said that, going by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, there are 3 tiers. And just recently they reiterated it by saying that not one tier is superior to the other. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, according to the Supreme Court, ensure that monies belonging to local governments go directly to them. There should be no intermediary, there should be no interloper. From the Federation account, which is a body composed of by people from the 3 tiers, it's headed by the Minister of Finance. All commissioners of finance from the states are there. Algon has its own representative there. People have been making a mistake that, at the end of the month, governors go to Abuja to go and share money. It's not so. It is money belonging to all the 3 tiers. Ensure that...
So it should not just be governors going to Abuja. The local government chairman should also get their share.
What I'm trying to say here is that when they even go to Abuja at the end of every month, it's not like the federal government is giving them money.
To the federal government.
It is their own fair share. Let me give you a simple example here. I pay tax. I stay in Ibadan. Should I pay FIRS a dime? Your state has, a stake and a share in it. But it's the central government, going by our constitution, that runs it. So at the end of the month, we will now go, what is my share? Give me my share. Not all states receive the same amount of money. It's being shared based on what you have contributed. Now back to the basics of the point. The Supreme Court said FAC should send what belongs to the federal government directly to the federal government. What belongs to state governments directly to state governments. And what belongs to local governments should go directly to local governments. In my own opinion, I believe that, going by what the president is saying, I want to believe he's the one telling the CBN governor not to implement it. And you cannot just say that don't implement
how
it.
then is that possible? Like I said here on Tuesday, or like I asked our analyst on Tuesday, at the beginning of this year, nobody said anything about local government autonomy.
Okay.
It was the president on his own.
That was middle of last year.
Yes, of his own free will.
That said,
that took the
my
governors
minister,
to court.
What he wanted to do, which I want to believe he is still doing, is to score a political point on the head of governors.
Good. If you want to score a political point and you've taken them to court, I know that local government chairmen were so happy at that point. They
just like all of us in Nigeria.
Yeah, we're so happy at that point, and Nigerians as well. If you want to score a point, don't you think that the point of that is moot at this point, because you started well and then just
like I have always said, my opinion, I don't rate our president as someone who is very intelligent. I see him as crafty. His plan is that when election is around the corner, he is going to sign a so-called executive order, which in my opinion is also a contempt of the Supreme Court.
Because why do we need an executive order before we can put
the
it
Supreme Court has said this is how it should go. You don't need any executive order at that particular point. But he is going to issue that so-called executive order, and now at that point he will say, oh, local government chairman, receive your money directly. You are the one.
Won't that then turn the state governors against him?
No. Does he care about that? I don't think he cares about that.
If he doesn't care, many of them have moved to the APC.
What I'm saying is that he knows too well that governors cannot help him when it comes to to election. That it's Nigerians who are going to help him. So what he's trying to do now is that, Nigerians are the grassroots. You can see I am fighting for you. In fact, I have actually picked a fight with governors, all of them, so that I can please you. But that is not the case. That can only confuse somebody who doesn't understand how systems run effectively. I understand how the Nigerian system runs. I may not understand how the Ghanaian system, but for Nigeria, I understand it from A to Z. What I'm trying to say here is that the Attorney General of the Federation should not be holding that office right now. He should be standing before the 5 judges of the Supreme Court explaining why he should not be in jail for contempt. And not just him. Minister of Finance, Accountant General, CBN Governor. The Supreme Court has said that send these people's money directly to them. But instead of doing that, you are playing games.
Hello, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from.
All right, sir. Good morning, sir. Good morning, Mr. Sonny.
Morning, sir.
All right, compliments of the season, everyone.
Same to you, sir.
My name is Salami. I'm calling from my WhatsApp.
You're welcome, Mr. Salami. Let's have your
All right,
contribution.
then God bless you, ma. I think I have a lot to say this one, but let me kind of dwell on the use of local government autonomy. For me, not implementing the local government and the Supreme Court judgment up to now, almost 2 years after, it's a failure of, in fact, I don't know, which cuts across so many other facets of government in this country. To start with, Mr. President went to the Supreme Court on his own, deeming it fit that, come on, let the local government be getting their money directly too. But yet, and he got it right by getting the Supreme Court decision in his own favor. Now, why is now CBN deliberately putting a plug in the wheel of that progress? For me, I see it as a deliberate lacuna set by, I want to even lay the blame on the doorstep of Mr. President. Because why, who is CBN to be kind of countering the order of the Supreme Court? The Supreme Court has already given a judgment that should be paid a little bit. Why are they now requesting for audited accounts, knowing fully well that in the couple of years back, nearly all the local government in this country have not been getting their money? What are they going to audit? Audit what? That's just it. So for me, that's why I said that I see that the lacuna deliberately set meant the policy and the judgment of the Supreme Court, which is in favor of Mr. President. That's number one. Number two, I'm not wondering what or where the chairman of local government in Oyo State will now put their faces now that their members elsewhere have now demanded for it because they said that they lack the capacity to keep the money. I can't even imagine it. That a local government chairman will be saying that they lack capacity to handle money for the affairs of their local government. All of them should be, in fact, be sent to all the local government chairman in your state. They are protecting the interest of Governor Shema Kindi. They are already spoiling or damaging their political career. May God bless us. Happy Christmas again. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salami. Merry Christmas.
Let me say two things here. Number one is that when the president went to court, he went there knowing one thing in mind, that Nigerians want their local governments to be autonomous. And he keyed into that. Not because he actually wants local governments to be autonomous, but because he wants to earn from where Nigerians are actually facing.
We don't have proof of this.
No, that he has not implemented it till today tells you that, okay, well, this man knows exactly what to do, but he is not interested in doing that for political gains. Because aside political gains, there is nothing else you can ascribe to why we are where we are right now. That is number one. Number two, just this month that we are in right now, the Supreme Court accused the federal government of not implementing its order as regards local government autonomy. I'm not a fan of Nigerian governors. They have their own faults. They have their own blame to deal with. But as regards the issue of local government autonomy, Mr. President has been intentionally blaming them wrongly for his own misgivings. That's just it.
In Oyo State here, just a couple of years ago, I believe in 2023 or 2022, there was an issue between some local government chairmen and the governor. Mm-hmm. The local government chairman said, "Give us our money."
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And the governor said, "Show me what you've done with the ones you've collected before." And people said, "Why is that your business?" Are you also of the same opinion?
Let me just end it by saying that if you are a state governor and you are asking another person how he has spent his own share of the money before you can release the person's fair share to them, then you're a thief. Seriously, that is it. It is of no concern. You didn't vote for them. The people voted for them. If anybody wants to ask them questions, it should be the people who voted for them, not you. Give them their money and let's settle the matter. There is EFCC. If you feel like anybody is stealing money, report that person to the EFCC or the House of Assembly. I mean, well, not even the House of Assembly directly. They are the councillors. The councillors are like their own National Assembly and State Assembly. They can impeach them. Not that you say, okay, what do you do? And the question is this: can the governor of Oyo State tell us that since the almost 6 years that he has been there, over 2 years, over 6 years that he has given them exactly what is coming from FAC?
All right, while we wait for Governor Makinde to answer that question, we'll move on to other stories this morning. The phone lines are still open. You can get your calls in 0916.
You don't give person money, you say making talk, I spend money.
893 1000, 0915 333 4893, and 0911 3333 893. Your input is very valid to us. House begins tax law probe. Ndume pushes for suspension. The House of Representatives Committee investigating alleged discrepancies in Nigeria's gazetted tax laws has pledged to submit its report as soon as its work is concluded. The chairman of the committee, Mukhtar Bitara, gave the assurance on Wednesday following the inaugural meeting of the panel, which was held in Abuja on Tuesday. Bitara chairs the seven-member committee constituted by the House after the adoption of a matter of privilege raised 2 weeks ago by a lawmaker from Sokoto State, Abdulsamad Dasuki. We all know what Dasuki said, and now the committee's media unit on Wednesday said that members were united in their resolve to complete the assignment without delay. They said they would complete their investigation and report back to the House within the shortest time for legislative integrity, due process, and public confidence. Many people are calling for the suspension of the tax review laws. Also, Tawe Yedele has been speaking. He said that he's not aware of any discrepancies. He pointed out the fact that if there are any discrepancies, it came from, when the lawmakers were taking a look at the law and changing it. He gave some examples, but some who claim to have seen the two, he said he hasn't seen the two different documents. Some people who say they have seen the two different documents are saying that in, one of the documents, the NRS, as it's going to be called now, has given itself the power to be the judge, jury, and executioner in matters relating to tax.
Yes, which is wrong.
And Tawe Edele has still told us yesterday that no, the NRS will not be able to take money from Nigerians' accounts without a court order. Do you believe that the implementation should be suspended?
Yes, of course. It should be suspended. Somebody needs to look Tayo Edele in the face and tell him, "Guy, go home."
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello.
Good morning, we can hear you.
Hello.
We can hear you. Please call us back. Do well to call us back, we can hear you.
How Edele's job is done. I mean, he was, tapped to come and draft a new.
Was it just to draft or to drive the new policy?
No, he's not going to do that.
It
is NRS that's going to drive the policy. And this guy has been giving conflicting reports other than what the FRS is saying. He is saying that, we must all have tax registration number.
FRS said the NIN is out.
And the truth of it is that with your NIN or BVN, the government knows everything about you.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, the beautiful little woman.
Good morning to you, Mr. Mario. Merry Christmas.
Thanks very much. Same to you. Mr. Sonny, happy Christmas. I'm expecting my chicken, and rice.
Wait for the cow, sir. Cow is coming, sir.
Yes, sir. Well, let me start with what you guys started with during your the show today, talking about how Nigerians are not finding it easy this Christmas season. Because before now, Christmas season is always a season in which you'll be able to travel to see your loved ones. Some Igbos, they will go to their villages, to greet their family members and the likes. And just like this year's Yuletide is somehow different from the one we've been having, in the sense that talking about insecurity. If you want to travel now, people will be telling you that we don't have money for, like what your analyst said. And some people told him that they don't have money for what they call it, so for ransom and the like. Even the roads are not even safe, because you can see even the thief here. If you want to travel from here to the east, is something that is on the higher side. If you want to take a flight, you'll be having a huge amount of money. So the thing is, the question you should be asking is, what are those things that has gone wrong, that has made this year's Christmas to differ from the previous ones we've been having? So I wish our government would just have this on their table and sort it out, so that when by come next year Yuletide season, we'll be having the normal Christmas or Yuletide season that we're celebrating it the way we used to do in the yesteryears. And lastly, on the issue of the tax, where I want all many Nigerians to rise against that tax, because that tax cannot fly. That tax is deadly. And let me end by saying this. When Mr. President removed the subsidy, we thought that respite will come to the country. And you can now see the effect of that subsidy now. Now, if tax again should now come in by January now, Nigeria, FL, thank you very much.
That means that you're jittery, you're wary of the president's policies.
No, it's not. What I'm trying to say here is that Mr. Tawo Edele's job is done. He should go home and let NRS do. FIRS.
But don't you think that's the person that drafted it that'll be able to explain it properly?
It is now a law.
He should just explain
it is no longer his business.
FIRS, right? And go.
FIRS understands they have the draft. They know everything that is there. It's no longer Edele's opinion. It's now a law of the federal government of Nigeria. What I'm trying to say here is this. I have seen both drafts. In what was approved by the National Assembly, the NRS can investigate you should they feel like you're not paying your fair share. But as regards execution or whatever, they do not have any power whatsoever. They can only take you to the court. But in what is being gazetted, which is actually the law, the legal law, they can arrest you, they can freeze your account, they can do whatever they want to do, they can even zap something from you. That's nonsense. And like, I if I'm not mistaken, a particular politician, is it Peter Obi? I think it's Atiku too. I used the word here last week. I said, as far as I'm concerned, changing the law that has been approved by national is akin to terrorism, treason. I think that's how Atiku described it. It is treason. It is treason as far as I'm concerned, because the National Assembly represents all of us. An act against the National Assembly is an act against all of us, and an act against all of us is treason. How can you do that? The House and Senate passed something. Because you wanted to, add more feathers to your wing, you now went behind their back to add to what they already, in fact, not even had, alter what they, I've never heard of that since 1916 in the history of this country. It is wrong. It is reprehensible. And in all seriousness, before talking about what should happen, what not should happen, the person who submitted that draft copy the approved copy to the Ministry of Information should be jailed.
Now we can only hope that the House, will speed up what it's doing.
They will do it.
They would.
I mean, some people are saying that they have gone to the 27th of January. No, that's for the committee of the whole, like the entire. People who have special duties are still going to be around.
All right. Moving on, ASU federal government, we don't have much time. Finalized renegotiated 2009 agreement. This is not taken away from those who have been killed in the mosque bombing that happened in Maiduguri, Borno State. 5 people were killed and 35 people were injured.
Let me touch it briefly. For ASU and the federal government, I commend it further. Anything that has to do with strike, I don't like it at all. I just hope and pray the federal government.
We must commend ASU for their patience.
Yes, we must. And I hope the federal government is not going to misbehave when it comes to implementing the agreement. For what happened in Borno yesterday, Maiduguri to be precise, I mean, it's not new. I mean, people have been saying that, it's just creations. Some of us who have been following the news know too well that it is not new.
I think the issue was the fact that people in Borno, those who fled home, some of them had started coming back, thinking that there was a little bit of respite.
And now it has started again. I mean, this is what drove them to Cameroon and Niger Republic. I mean, the federal government just needs to wake up to its responsibility. That's it.
All right. That's how we wrap up the show this morning.
Merry Christmas,
Merry Christmas once again. Be security conscious. Unfortunately, that we have to be saying this at Christmas, but it is what it is. It's reality. Please be very safe. Please stay safe. Don't go to overcrowded places. And if you can afford to, just stay at home and enjoy Christmas with your family. Cook and have fun. And let's not lose focus of the reason for the season. Thank you so much, Mr. Sani, for joining us on the show.
It's always an honor to be here.
Who called, and that's it. My name is Bolanle Oduekun Ayola. Once again, Merry Christmas and God bless you.